Cheers and salutations. Welcome everybody to Americans Learn. My name is Kit, and today we got ourselves a fun video to check out. It is titled The Deadliest Cartel Shootout. Wow, 700 Sicarios versus 35 Special Forces. Well, Special Forces are in the ground, ready to go. So let's find out what's going on. It's from Popo Medic. Everyone, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the ring bell notification, and let's go, Ghostbusters, to this video. Let's go, shall we? There we go. Thursday.
Thursday, October 17th, 2019. A convoy of Mexican special forces pushed their way through the Tres Rios neighborhood of Culiacan and stormed a safe house, capturing Ovidio Guzman Lopez, the son of El Chapo, alive. And what was meant to be a quick capture-kill mission quickly turned into an all-out war, as within minutes, over 700 Sicarios and convoy after convoy of improvised armored vehicles surrounded the Special Forces team, trapping them within the safe house. And after a hellish 7-hour siege of the city, the Mexican government was left with little choice. Release Ovidio, or everybody dies.
Okay, we're seeing the fight with the cartel. Here we go.
By 2019, 28-year-old Ovidio Guzman Lopez was no longer just El Chapo's son, but one of the most powerful men in the Sinaloa cartel. And with his father serving a life sentence in the United States, Ovidio and his brothers, Los Chapitos, assumed control over key factions of the cartel's operations, which was mostly the brothers indulging in products, but ensuring his father's empire remained intact. Ovidio,
what could go wrong?
Extended his role far beyond trafficking and became a financier, a strategist, and an enforcer, managing the cartel's cash flow, product distribution, and security infrastructure. Under his leadership, the cartel expanded its influence, fortified its operational networks, and ensured that law enforcement could never get too close. His recruitment of young, highly armed Sicarios, coupled with his use of sophisticated technology, made him a new breed of cartel boss, one who relied on both raw firepower and encrypted communication to stay ahead of authorities. And at the same time, then President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, we'll call him President fucking Obrador, had taken a soft approach to cartel violence, shifting away from the military-driven crackdowns of previous administrations. His policy of hugs not bullets prioritized de-escalation over direct confrontation.
Nah, that ain't gonna work. That's what we call no bueno. Okay? When he came up with that plan, de-escalation, I'm sorry. That's like walking in a room and saying, "¿Cómo estás, pendejos? ¿Qué pasó, cabrones?"
Which inadvertently allowed the Sinaloa cartel to grow even stronger. Imagine that. With less military pressure, Los Chapitos cemented their control, expanded smuggling corridors, and solidified their dominance over rival factions. And Ovidio was especially careful in securing the cartel's infrastructure. His use of high-tech communication networks made it difficult for authorities to track his movements, as he and his associates relied on phantom-secure encrypted mobile phones, which were modified to be untraceable, and private radio networks to block surveillance efforts. These counter-surveillance tactics gave the cartel a military-like advantage, ensuring that law enforcement was always playing catch-up. However, while Mexico hesitated, the DEA had already marked Ovidio as a high-value target, and U.S. authorities had been tracking his movements since the day of El Chapo's arrest, anticipating that he would step up to fill the power vacuum left by his father. And the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control formally designated Ovidio as a key lieutenant of the Sinaloa cartel under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act, a designation that greenlit international indictments against Ovidio and his associates. But taking down Ovidio would be no simple task. The Sinaloa cartel was no longer just a criminal empire. It was a paramilitary force, an underground shadow government. And by many accounts, Obrador's administration feared that attempting to detain Ovidio would trigger a war in Culiacan, a city where the cartel held more influence than the government itself. But despite these fears, U.S. pressure continued to mount, and the DEA had built a solid case.
Hey, that's in Chicago, my territory.
case linking Ovidio to multi-ton shipments of narcotics flooding into the United States. The indictment was sealed, and Mexico's law enforcement signed the arrest warrant, and the plan was set in motion. But before we get into the operation, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Aura. In today's world, data brokers hold information on over 500 million people, each with thousands of data points. This $319 billion industry is rapidly growing and with little regulation. With data breaches and cybersecurity threats on the rise, it's hard to really know how secure your information is. But with Aura, you'll feel confident that your information is secure because Aura does it all in one convenient place and works around the clock to protect and keep your data and personal information away from data leaks and data brokers. And by automatically opting out of data broker lists, Aura has significantly reduced the number of robocalls that I receive, giving me a peace of mind and helping secure my information. But that's not all they do. Aura provides comprehensive protection that includes antivirus software, a VPN for secure browsing, secure password management,
Okay, seems reasonable.
identity theft insurance, and even credit monitoring, all in one single app. You don't need to manage multiple subscriptions to multiple apps on your phone. Aura consolidates everything you need into one convenient platform, saving you time, money, and storage. If you'd like to stick it to robocallers and protect your information, I highly recommend checking out Aura. They're even offering you guys a 2-week free trial. Simply go to aura.com/popomedic or click the link in the description and protect you and your family's information today. This highly sensitive operation was to be handled by Mexico's Elite Special Forces Unit, the GAFE, a highly trained division within the Mexican Army, and their orders were clear. Hit Ovidio's safe house in the upscale Tres Rios neighborhood of Culiacan and capture him, dead or alive. And on October 17th, the day of the operation, a convoy of 35 police officers and Special Forces operators approached Ovidio's safe house at approximately 2:30 p.m. And upon arrival, the forces encountered gunfire, but managed to push and breach the safe house, detaining Ovidio within minutes. But by 2:35 p.m., 700 Sinaloa Cartel gunmen began to mobilize, and within 30 minutes, hundreds of heavily armed Sicarios flooded the streets, employing improvised armored vehicles, 50 caliber rifles, rocket launchers, and heavy machine guns, effectively besieging the city within 30 minutes of Ovidio's capture. And the Special Forces team within the safe house had no choice but to establish a defensive perimeter as they became effectively trapped with Ovidio.
Jeez. All right, throw rounds down range.
By 3:30 p.m., Culiacan is fully under siege. Cartel forces attacked military units across the city, and reinforcements attempting to reach the Special Forces unit holding Ovidio are blocked by roadblocks of burning vehicles or outright ambushed and forced to retreat. By 4 p.m., a full-scale war breaks out in Culiacan. Military outposts and police stations are targeted by cartel forces. Gunfights erupt across the city, trapping civilians within the chaos, and reports surface that cartel gunmen are beginning to storm military housing complexes, capturing soldiers and their families. And by 5 p.m., confirmed hostages are taken, with reports indicating that at least 8 soldiers have been abducted. Then, by 5:13 p.m., the cartel sends a message to the government: release Ovidio or executions will begin. And as 6 p.m. approached, the Mexican military becomes overwhelmed, and reports still indicate that cartel reinforcements are still arriving, and the worst is yet to come. And President Obrador is briefed on the situation. Military commanders warn that a prolonged fight will result in mass casualties, including civilians, police, and soldiers. And by 7 p.m., the decision is made. Ovidio Guzman will be released. Reluctant, the Special Forces team obliged, cutting Ovidio loose. And upon his release, the cartel's immediate de-escalation of hostilities allowed the Special Forces team to withdraw from the area relatively unscathed.
Oh boy. Luck of the draw?
But the real damage was already done. Ovidio just proved to the world that he has more power than his own government, and this sense of security only empowered the cartel to deepen their influence throughout Mexico. However, the United States government gave a stern warning to Ovidio. You're not more powerful than our government.
Yeah, We're not playing F around.
By January of 2023, the US launched an operation that was much larger, more coordinated, and designed to be over before the cartel could even react. Dubbed Operation Mongoose Azteca, US intelligence pinpointed Ovidio at a new safe house in the Jesus Maria district of Culiacan, and on January 5th, the operation was a go. Mexican Special Forces mobilized into Jesus Maria. At precisely 6 a.m., the assault team intercepted a cartel convoy associated with Los Chapitos that was patrolling the area around the safe house. Within minutes, the convoy was wiped out, and the cartel gunmen never even saw it coming. With the outer security now compromised, Special Forces moved in on Ovidio's heavily fortified and guarded safe house, where the team was confronted by heavily armed Sicarios prepared for an attack, leading to an intense, close-quarters battle, forcing the team to clear the safe house room by room, getting down cartel enforcers at close range. The fight lasted for several minutes, but the superior training and firepower of the Special Forces showed out. Ovidio's team was neutralized, and before he could react, he was grabbed, subdued, and dragged out of the house in handcuffs, where the teams exfiltrated immediately, escaping before the cartel was even notified.
So in and out, quick like that. That's how Special Forces roll.
And by the time they realized what had happened, Ovidio was already gone. The Special Forces team successfully captured Ovidio along with 18 of his associates. However, the raid resulted in the deaths of 10 soldiers, 19 suspected cartel members, and 1 police officer.
Damn.
And all hell broke loose in Sinaloa as the U.S. consulate in Hermosillo was fired upon, and fires and roadblocks once again shut down Culiacan. Even the Culiacan International Airport was temporarily closed after 2 planes, including an Aeromexico airliner and a military aircraft, were struck by gunfire. Ovidio was flown to Mexico City and then transferred to a federal social readaptation center, a maximum security prison in Juarez. Mexican Foreign Secretary Marcelo Ebrard confirmed an existing U.S. extradition request for Ovidio, though he also faced charges in Mexico. A federal judge placed him under a 60-day preventative detention to allow U.S. authorities to formalize their extradition petition. And by September 15th of 2023, Ovidio was extradited to the United States to face drug trafficking charges and arraigned in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, where he pleaded not guilty.
Ravi El Chapo's son,
Damn. In my backyard, Chicago.
Ovidio, put on a private plane with a one-way ticket to Chicago. This 33-year-old son of the Sinaloa cartel kingpin tonight at the federal lockup in downtown Chicago after a court arraignment on
drug trafficking. Damn, that was earlier this year. Damn, hold on. Let's actually find out what happened. Let's get a little update. Hold on. Everybody calm down. Everyone just calm down. Hold on. Let's find out what happened here in Chicago. Let's find out. All right. Let's see. He pled guilty. Yeah, he pled guilty. Charges here in Chicago. Here we go. Hey. So, yeah. It was a dramatic moment in federal courtroom in Chicago Friday. This was done on July 11th, 2025. Son of El Chapo pleaded guilty to charges of drug trafficking and running the cartel in his father's absence. Wow. Wow. Big wow. Holy cow. On Friday, Ovidio Guzman Lopez lived up to his moniker El Raton. The mouse was mild-mannered, even meek, claiming a diagnosis of depression for which he takes medication for on a daily basis. The mouse will now have to rat on the entire Sinaloa operation. He pleaded guilty to the most serious charges he was facing. Jeez Louise. Talk about craziness. Okay, hey, we learned something new here on Americans Learn. So, update, yeah, pleaded guilty. And Judge Coleman said the sentencing will be scheduled in 6 months. So that was in July. So July, August, September, October, November, December. That means January of next. So that'll be in January of next year. Okay. Who says you don't learn anything here at Americans Learn? All right. So be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the ring bell notification, and just keep on being beautiful and awesome as you should all the time. Every time. My name is Kit. This is Americans Learn, and I'll see all of you on the flip side as I should. Peace.